What did the warrior see in the anchor's rust that froze his breath, ancient shackles pulsing alive? A god's whisper older than Marika's light. The chamber trembles, the anchor does not bind what it holds. It marry a name, chamber unspoken, cracks through the sky. Is not decay, sky it is the dried blood of a god. Ancient shackles, yes, but forged to chain a force gnawing at the Erd tree's roots. Still, a nameless hunger older than Marika's light leaks through every crack in the golden bark. The age of ancients was before flame, before fracture. The everlasting dragons, titans of star metal, shaped the rusted anchor in their prime, not to slay, not to conquer, but to cage a force gnawing at the void's edge older than Marika's light, colder than the abyss's breath. Their schism split scales from scales, some called the anchor mercy, others a chain. The first flame, born in the age of gray, burned away their unity. Its fire forged disparity, heat and cold, life and death, yet the anchor's rust never faded. It hung where the Erd tree's roots could not reach, where the primordial entity's whispers seeped into the lands between. No weapon, a spell-wrought shroud, iron woven with dragon fire and dread, the entity's name is lost, its hunger remains. Even now the anchor's weight bends time, its prison incomplete. What was bound before the first flame could not be unmade by it, only delayed. The Erd tree's bark cracks further, and in the dark the whispers grow louder. The rusted anchor does not strike, it seeps. A slow rot in the wielder's bones, a hunger that is not hunger. Visions bloom, cracked earth, a sky without the Erd tree's shadow, the lands between whole, the first flame unlit. A time before Marika's light, before Gwyn's theft, the anchor's chains do not bind flesh. They coil around something deeper, a breath held too long, a wound that never clotted, the first flame flickers. Each sacrifice, each desperate relink sharpens the anchor's whisper. It knows the flame's end, not extinction, usurpation. The dark seeping from its core is not absence, it is memory. A force older than the flame's stolen fire, older than the serpent's hollow eyes. The anchor's weight is not metal, it is a ledger, a tally of every soul that defied the unraveling. To wield it is to feel the Erd tree's roots writhe, to hear a name no tongue can shape. The chains hold for now, but the flame's gold is fading, and in the dark the anchor's prisoner stirs. Not to destroy, to return, to remember. The everlasting dragons bore it first, their claws bled starlight as they forged the anchor in war. A chain to bind what no flame could slay, Gwyn wielded it. His golden tears fell as the first flame dimmed, Nito's shadow coiled around its rust. The Witch of Izalith sang it to sleep, her voice cracking under ancient names. The furtive pygmy hid it in the Erd tree's roots, a thief's mercy, a king's folly. The anchor's iron drank his stolen years, the chosen undead lifted it last. Their hands, cracked with purpose, stirred the Lord's soul's dust, a cycle's end, a wound reopened. Each soul left a shard, each shard a ghost, the anchor's links grow heavier. The serpent's whispers seep through every rusted seam, not a weapon, a shroud. A borrowed breath between the shattering and the dream, what lingers in the anchor's core, a god's memory. A serpent's hunger, a fire long drowned, the flame's gold is ash, the chains creak. And the one who stirs remembers no master but the dark. The rusted anchor is not just a weapon, it is a scar where a god's breath was strangled silent. Its weight holds a name the first flame forgot, and in every strike the dark remembers. The rusted anchor is more than a relic of giants. It is a testament to the first struggle against a force older than flame. When the first flame linked, it did not create order, it delayed the return of what the anchor binds. Marika's gods built their order on a pause, a breath between eras. The Erd tree's roots reject the dead it cannot digest. Those who live in death, the omens, are echoes of what the anchor once held. The flame's fading is no accident, it is the unraveling of a patch over a wound. The anchor's rust is not decay, it is the residue of containment holding since before time. Every cycle, rain, desperate link is a repetition, buying moments against the inevitable. The anchor's silence is not victory. It is a clock ticking in reverse. When the flame dies, the lands between will remember what the first age forgot. The dark does not wait. It was never defeated. It breathes in the gaps between rains, in the rust of ancient iron, in the Erd tree's hollows. The anchor's weight is not a relic, it is a reminder, a scar that will not heal. A promise no flame, no matter how divine, can outrun the shadow of what came before. The rusted anchor lies half-buried where the Erd tree's roots choke the earth, its iron rusted not by time, but by the dark seeping from fractures splitting the sacred trunk. What was forged to bind a force older than Marika's light now trembles as the first flame wanes. The abyss does not hunger, it gathers, a tide of discarded souls pooling in Ulasail's hollow. The Erd tree bends to absorb this weight, but its roots grow brittle. Does the anchor hold a god? A serpent, or the unshaped will that carved the lands between before fire gave them form? The wind's whispers are not prayers, they are memories, and the tree's cracks widen. The rusted anchor is a relic born of necessity, forged not by mortal hands, but by the weight of what must be buried. Every flame that rises, every crown that fractures, echoes a truth the anchor knows. Containment is a lie told to the desperate. Gwyn's hollowed reach, Marika's shattered light both trace the same slow unraveling. What waits beneath the rust is not evil, but a presence older than longing, its voice a stain in the world's marrow. The anchor's chains are not iron but time, they hold, they bend, they break. The giants who wielded it understood, this was never a weapon. It was a stopgap, a bandage on a wound that outlives all medicine. The rust speaks, not rots. It whispers of a cycle older than the first flame, where gods and their prisons are one. The anchor's fate is written in every crumbling tower, every soul drawn to the undying. You cannot cage what predates cages. The lands between are not a beginning, they are an exhale. And the anchor, it is the rust on the inside of a tomb that has not yet closed. The anchor's rust is not decay, it's a seal. A voice older than the first flame writhes beneath its iron, a god exiled before Marika's light fractured the stars. Its escape does not mean freedom, it means the curse has a name.